Welcome to another episode of Mind where I help you, get some tips from the best people around the world. Today we have a teacher of English who is very passionate about learning and also been to US once. I mean, studied there for a few years and came back now became a teacher. Hey, how are you, Sachin?
Hey, thank you very much for inviting Dushyant. I'm doing absolutely fine. How are you doing?
I'm so happy that we are doing this finally and you're here. I know
Yeah,
you're
uh,
actually busy.
yeah, of course, and of course, finally we have, come up on this schedule. I'm really excited, really honored to be here, and of course, can't wait to share some insights, share some knowledge and strategies and secrets, so that can help your and as well as my audience as well.
Great, great. So, uh, since it is, we are gonna only talk about the language, how we can learn it, how we can develop it, from pronunciation to vocabulary and everything in between, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, what do you think a non-native speaker should start first when he or she wants to learn the language?
Well, first of all, I believe everything starts with the mindset, and having a proper goal. Like if you don't know why do you want to learn a particular language, it could be for going abroad for your studies, job, or getting an interview. And of course, we know that more than 99% of the interviews are held in English only. So first of all, you've got to clear your why you want to learn. Then of course, your mindset. I think one of the major problems that people face in spoken English that they're limiting belief.
Mm,
They hear from their friends, their mom, dad, their colleagues, girlfriend, boyfriend, that these are the so-called limiting beliefs that you can't speak English in this certain manner and it will take you this amount of time. So I think it starts with the mindset, having that positive mindset when you start. And in my course, I always, every single class, I tell them to read this incredible affirmation, and it goes like this: I know I'm capable of speaking English confidently and fearlessly. What it does, that it straightly goes into your head, in your mind, and
mm.
it keeps you, inspired, optimistic, and positive. And of course, having the right goal, like why exactly you want to learn, that really strengthens your chance of spoken English.
Wonderful. So, what one should do when trying to learn the language.
Well, there are different things that people start do, and people must start doing. It depends upon the levels you're at. Of course, if you're at the very beginner level, you must start getting into some grammatical rules, because you have to understand the rules. You have to understand how the sentences are structured. And if you don't know, then later on it can be quite difficult for you. So again, if you're at the beginner level,
Mm,
learn some grammatical rules, like basic rules. Of course, there's one thing that you must learn, which is tenses. Like you all know that tenses are probably the most important parts of the English language, because you have to understand how the sentences are formed. And apart from that, again, for the beginner level, you should start reading the basic reading like stories, because I believe that reading is everything. Like if you don't read every single day, the chances are you will not get at that level. And again, the third could be talk. Even if you're at the beginner level, it doesn't matter what, you can
yeah.
be afraid what will think of me, and I might make mistakes. It doesn't matter, just start for beginner level. And for those who already know some English, which is the majority in India and other parts of the world as well, I
Mm,
mean, you should get a mentor. Like, of course, there are a lot of resources online on YouTube,
exactly.
Instagram, Google. There's so many platforms out there that you can go and learn from a lot of resources. But you do need a mentor who can directly teach you, can exactly tell you what to do and what not to do. And as we know, it is as important to know what to do, it is as what not to do, right? So you teachers tell you what to do and what not to do, and of course guides you in a much better way, and meets you, guides you, and mentors in a better way that you can start speaking. Of course, there are a few things. Of course, one thing that I always recommend people
Mm,
is focusing upon their pronunciation. And again, so many people in India and Pakistan and Nepal, like in our neighboring country, they kind of misunderstand between accent and pronunciation.
yeah.
They are completely different thing. Of course, I have been to America once, so I do have the mixed accent of India and America. It's fine, but and there are some different accents as well. Like for example, in America, it's like if you say in American English, it would be her daughter brought a glass of water, and if you say
Yeah.
British, her daughter brought a glass of water. Like it's accent. But what I'm talking about, it's about pronunciation. Pronunciation is simply, if you say in simple words, it basically means how you say a word. For example, there is a word, yeah. For example, there is a word comfortable. I know what I mean. I have taught more than hundreds of students so far in my life, and majority of them pronounce it as comfortable or comfortable.
It is
It
comfortable.
sounds, yeah, it's comfortable, right? There's one more example like photographer. People say photographer, photography. It's not photographer, it's photographer. So that's why I'm a huge fan of pronunciation. It's not accent, it's about saying the right word at the right time. Okay.
Right.
And of course, that includes reading as well in the advanced part as well. Like you've got to read every single day. And if you don't read, chances are it will take 6 months, 1 year, or maybe more than that to be able to master that
I have
language.
a follow-up question. So, do
Sure.
you think is grammar important when trying to learn the language? As
Well, I think
as
yes.
the pronunciation you just mentioned?
Well, I would say yes, grammar is important. There are teachers out there who, make this kind of myth that you don't need to learn grammar. And I think, I don't know whether they are what they are saying, but in my opinion, this is my strong opinion. And especially when you're learning from the very basic. And even if you're at the intermediate level, there are some certain rules that you must be able to master. Like as I told you in the beginning, if you're not able to construct the sentences, first, you will not be able to convey your message. And
Yeah.
second, you will not be able to understand what other people are saying. So input and output both will be like, horrible if you don't master grammar. And of course, when I say master grammar, you don't have to learn fancy grammatical rules. I swear, it doesn't have to be like, the ones who prepare for general competitions like railway banking and those things. Those are like superior grammar. You don't have to get into that deep. But yet again, you have to focus on the basics of it so that you can learn how to construct sentences.
So, to be able to talk to native speakers, do you think we should learn advanced grammar or just basic of it?
Well, that's a very good question, by the way. Thanks for asking that question. I firmly believe you don't need advanced grammar. You may need advanced vocabulary, maybe a little bit, but not much. You know what people misunderstand, like advanced vocabulary.
Mhm.
I do teach advanced English, but I teach some advanced and I would say business phrases. That's why I name this as advanced English. But I don't believe you need to get into advanced grammar rule or vocabulary.
Mhm.
I firmly believe that the main motive of communication, the main motive of conversation has to be simply conveying your message no matter what. You don't have to use fancy words. You don't have to use so-called, so much complicated second, third, advanced
Yeah,
conditionals. Of course, you
sophisticated.
need to learn.
They
Yeah.
say,
But
they say sophisticated words.
yeah, you don't have to use like sophisticated words and complicated words. If you simply are able to convey your message, but with the right pronunciation, if you see, I have been talking about pronunciation for a long time now.
Yes.
In my like videos, in my teaching, in my personal mentoring, every single time, because pronunciation is how you talk. It's not about the accent of Indian, American, or British.
I personally have been following you and learning something from your videos as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, do you think does reading help when you want to talk to people and express yourself in a better way?
Well, absolutely, yes. And I say to my students, my clients, and everybody that I myself am the 90 to 95% product of what I read every single day. We all know that readers are leaders and leaders are readers. Okay. I mean, you cannot ignore the fact that you cannot read. I'm telling you, like reading is something that can dramatically change your communication, your understanding, your focus, and it helps in so many ways. Like in my coaching, my private coaching, my one-to-one coaching, my group coaching, I tell my students, my clients that you've got to read. And I found there are people who were not good readers, but because they came in my courses, my programs, they started reading every single day. I'm going to take one example of Dr. Bachchan from Nepal. He's a great human being, one of the hardworking people I have ever met in my life. He was working 12, 14 hours per day and still managing to take my course at the evening time. And he started reading. And he said to me that, Sachin sir, I remember the way you said that I'm the product of 95% product of reading. And that's why I started reading. He came to Delhi as well, and he brought a lot of books. He brought a lot of books, and he's reading a lot of books. And he told me that how reading books has dramatically changed his thinking, his life, and his personality in general. So like reading, simply see, reading is what? Reading is speaking. And I always remember, I always encourage people, I always suggest people to read out loud, read out loud.
Yeah.
Especially when you're learning a language. What happens why we read, why we must read out loud? For example, if we are reading something, we are actually speaking and we're actually listening to us. If you're not reading out loud, we're listening in our head, that's the worst thing you can do, right? But when you are reading out loud, you're listening your pronunciation, your pauses, your expressions, your stress, your intonation, how the voice goes up and comes down. These things matter so much, and that's why I strongly recommend reading every single day. So you can start with 5 minutes per day. It can go for 10 minutes, and depending upon how you want to go and proceed it.
I mean, like you said, reading is essential when you're trying to learn this particular language. So some people, get confused how they should read and what they should read. They start, with some scholar books, some advanced books, with newspapers. So what do you suggest they should read?
Absolutely, that's a great question again. Thank you. And again, as I said in the beginning, it depends on the levels you're at. If you think that you are at between basic and intermediate level, you should start reading the kids stories. I'm telling you, people might be like egoistic, like, why would I read kids story? Hello, you're learning a language. It doesn't matter what, you must start learning from the kids stories, and they are easy to understand, easy to read, and easy to grasp, and easy to explain to the other people as well, and express in front of the people as well. So start with I would suggest, even if you are at intermediate to advanced level, you must start a few books of kids stories. Kids, like, stories are amazing, and we all love stories, don't we? Like I'm a huge fan of storytelling, and I'm trying to be a good storyteller. I think I already am, and I'm trying to be the best at it. So just start with the story, the kid's story, and then once you feel more comfortable, then start reading non-fiction books, personal development books. One of the books I strongly recommend to each and every one of you who's watching right now is The Miracle Morning. I have been suggesting this book to all my students, all my clients who want to get great at it. So go and grab this book right now.
So like you mentioned, we should read out loud. Once a teacher of English told me, many years ago, I'm not talking about like 2 years or 5, 6 years ago, a teacher told me, if somebody wants to improve English, the spoken English, he or she should read and at the same time record when you do it. So you improve two things. You are learning how to read, also improving your pronunciation, right?
100%.
You can 100%. Listen to the recorded video later and understand which word you mispronounced.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with this more, my friend. And you brought this up because I was about to say, if you ask my students, my clients, I tell them every single day that you must record your own voice. There are people who become quite skeptical. They were like, I don't have a good voice. I'm like, cool, you have a great voice. Of course, recording, and again, it's a great thing when you record yourself, and after a month, after a week or 2 weeks, you can go and listen to the recording and compare the past recording with the present recording, and you can analyze how much you have improved. Clap for yourself, the way you improved. And if you think you need to improve more, don't beat yourself up, don't abuse yourself up. Simply think, what are the key areas that you need to improve? And again, recording is huge. And I really encourage people to record their audio as well as video as well. Like, videos are huge. You must start recording videos as well, because in videos, you see yourself speaking, you see yourself, your expressions, your body, your hand gestures, everything. So start recording. That helps a lot.
I would like to share an incident with you.
Sure,
I was talking to a guy from Afghanistan.
Okay.
Actually, I was interviewing him. He has been a teacher of English for many years.
Wow.
So he told me that he would watch a movie 5 times in order to understand the pronunciation and the sentence structures.
Hmm.
So at that point, I understood. I thought he is crazy. Why would a person watch a movie 50 times, 60 times
Yes.
just to get? But later
Yeah.
I understood the fact that why he was doing this, because he wanted to understand everything of it, every bit of the movie.
Mhm.
Thus, he became a good speaker, started teaching, started talking
Mhm.
to Americans and the other people.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think again it depends upon the individuals. Personally, I'm not a big fan of watching a movie 50 times or 5 times. For sure, I would rather go for podcast. I would rather go for some speeches. Of
mm,
course, movies help, like, but I personally am not a big fan. Of course, I do recommend, but not strongly. That again, I wouldn't say anybody. I respect that guy, that person, whoever said it. But like watching 50 times will make me crazy. Like, no, I can't do it. I would rather go for somebody else,
so
something else.
how do you think we can improve our thought process? It is essential when you want to speak English, right?
Yeah,
You go blank when you are trying to speak. So how we should improve thought process? And also, explain what is thought process.
sure. Well, I believe everything comes down to our community and environment. You know, if you have got that environment, if you have people around you who encourage you, and most importantly, who share the same common goal as you, then
Mhm,
you become freaking unstoppable. Okay.
mhm.
And that's what I've done for my own community. Like recently, I've launched my, you may have seen on my Instagram that
Yeah,
recently
yeah.
I've launched my the inspiringspeakershub.com. It's incredible because I brought all the students together, all the like different batches of students, like from India, Pakistan, Nepal, other countries as well, together in one batch and have them discuss things. And I've told them in the beginning, the very first thing that I want you all to focus on is respect and integrity to each other, because we have got people from different parts of the world, different culture, religion, different, you know, I would say mindset and majority and all these things. So again, the moment I brought them up together, I saw, and I'm going to share that experience very, very soon in one of my videos. I recorded the screen, recorded the
Mhm.
feedback. It's incredible to see. Then I realized, wow, how strong a community is, how strong a group can be if they share the same goal, the
Yeah.
same common goal. And for me, for them, the common goal is to speak incredibly fantastic and inspire the world. And that's why I named it as the inspiringspeakershub.com. And again, it comes down to community, the people around you. See, there are people in India,
Mhm,
once they start speaking English, they
mhm.
started, people start making fun of them. Like, घने अंग्रेज बने हैं, तू अंग्रेज बन जाएगा, ये कर जाएगा, ये कर जाएगा, वगैरह वगैरह. There are so many, like they face a lot of criticism, they face a lot of problems, and they forget that if you're going to go for the job, you need that communication. I mean, of course, सिर्फ IS का interview हिंदी में होता है, as might be but most of the interviews are heard in English. So of
Right.
course, if you have such people around you, जो आपको, the one who discourage you, the ones who don't level you up, I think you should leave the community. It's your life. You should choose what people you should live with. Again, it comes down to environment, the people, the community, because I know the power of community. It can drastically change your life for sure.
So let's talk about your upcoming workshop as well. You're gonna have a
Mhm.
workshop for free, which is for free, guys. You can join
Yes,
his workshop, and in this 2 days workshop, he's gonna transform you completely,
sure,
right?
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yes, it's going to happen on 18th and 19th of March, and it will keep happening almost every month. And I take this free workshop. I bring people together from different parts of the world. I give them 2 days of value, immense value. I share my own secrets, my own experiences, my own story.
Mhm.
And I have got a powerful story to share with people that inspire other people as well to start their spoken English and public speaking journey. And it's a free masterclass. Anybody can join from any part of the world. It's completely free, a lot of value, a lot of activities in the class, a lot of how to say engaging activities so that you don't get bored, and of course learning as well. And most importantly, meeting people from different parts of the world for sure. So if you're somebody who is looking for such opportunity, go for it. You must enroll right now.
So, I mean, tell me about a little bit about yourself, how your journey started, why you decide to go to USA.
Okay, so it started on 2007, in 2017, even before that, but I moved to Delhi in 2017 with a lot of dreams, hopes, and expectations.
Mhm.
And I was quite passionate in spoken English, but I didn't know how to speak English. So I
Oh,
went, I came
no,
here.
are you right? I mean, are you damn sure you didn't know anything how to speak English before 2017?
Nothing, not at all, nothing. I just knew a few grammar rules and translation a little bit from Hindi to English, all things. And then I came to Delhi in 2017. I thought I would get a job right away in call centers. And guess what? Little did I know, I didn't know anything. So I went for a few job interviews, I would say 6 or 7 job interviews. And guess what? I got rejected from all of them. I didn't have a good personality. I didn't have good skill. I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't even know how to kind of introduce myself in English. And I didn't have any skill that anybody could hire me. So I was kicked out of 7 job interviews. I was homeless. I didn't have any resources.
Mhm.
There was a time when I was living in streets and living in railway stations and metro stations for 15, 20 days. I didn't have any money, but I had this passion of learning English. So I had brought a few grammar books and translation books from Bihar only, and I started learning those stuffs. And my mom gifted me a phone when I passed my high school from first division in Bihar. So it was a really special phone for me. So I was using the phone to learn English, spoken English pronunciation. So 15, 20 days, I kept training myself, eating bada pav, eating samosas and all these things for 15, 20 days. And then eventually I applied for a few more jobs, again got rejected because again, I knew that I was speaking quite well, a little better, but I didn't have more skills. But fortunately, I got a job
Mhm.
in an NGO and I was being paid 6,000 per month. And I was like, as we know, that something is better than nothing. So I was completely devastated. So I just needed this job. I started working there,
Mhm.
and most importantly, I found a passion in this English. Like, wow, I was like, I always wanted to improve myself in spoken English. And then I joined a few NGOs to teach there. I
Mhm.
taught and I taught and taught. So what I was doing, I was working from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. And after 5 p.m., I would go to teach in 3 or 4 NGOs for absolutely for free as a volunteer. So the
Mhm.
more I taught, the more I engaged myself into the activities, the conversation, the better I became. I
Mhm.
kept working harder and harder. And 2018 in November, I was fortunate, I would say, that I got an opportunity to apply for the scholarship. Again, it was on us how to really crack those things, but we were given the opportunity to apply for the program. Applying for the program, it took us 10 months, 10 long months to get the result. There were interviews, there were exams, medical, a lot of processes, passport, a lot of stuff. But eventually got selected in 2019 in June and went to the US in July 2019, where I studied about marketing, management, entrepreneurship, and English language. And then I came back from the US. Again, I was broke. I didn't have any job because it was COVID-19.
Yeah.
But then I thought, wait a minute, there is something that I always wanted to do, which was English speaking. And then I focused on English again. I kind of polished myself when I was in the US. I started posting content, started with 50 followers, and now I have thankfully 7.5K around. So that's how journey started.
So inspiring. I mean, a lot of people watching this video are gonna benefit and gonna be inspired as well by watching this.
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sure.
So you are really an inspiration to a lot of people watching this video. I think the way you told your story, you did not have anything. You used to stay at platforms and would, eat bada pav and all. So that's, really inspiring to me as well, right?
Sure. Sure.
So at last, tell the viewers 5 ways, 5 most effective ways to improve everything that includes English, be it
Mhm.
pronunciation, be it vocabulary.
Okay. So first of all, again, it comes down to, I would start with two things. Have a proper goal. Write down the proper goal that in the next 6 months or 1 year or 9 months, I'm going to achieve that goal. Number two is mindset. Keep yourself like positive all the time.
Mm.
Don't listen to any other people who make fun of you, who say that you have to know this, you cannot do that, blah blah blah. Because I was made fun of like so many times, I don't care now because I'm training a lot of people. So number one is about having the right mindset. Number two is about having the goal, and number three, of course, you have to have the community around you, that people, as I told you, it comes down to environment. Choose a community, go to an NGO, any other community where you can feel safe, secure, and so that you can't be judged and you can really express yourself in a much better way. I would say number four, again, it comes down to pronunciation. I mean, nothing is more important than pronunciation. Maybe you are super weak in grammar, you don't know how to construct sentences. But guess what? If you know how to speak, how to really know the manner, how to know the rules of pronunciation, you can speak confidently and fearlessly right away. And number five, just speak without any fear. Whenever you get an opportunity with me, with Dushyant or anybody out there, just reach out to the person. Like, there is simple quote, and one of my favorite quotes, that if you don't ask, the answer is always a no, right? But if you ask, there are two possibilities, yes or no. Ho bhi sakta hai, nahi bhi hoega. But if you don't ask, there's no possibility. And number six, that you haven't asked me, follow English with Sachin, because I post content every single day, free content, and you can learn a lot of stuff from my videos, my post every single day. So
that's I mean, there you have Sachin, English with Sachin, and explains so much.
Thank you.
How you can learn the English language and improve it and become a speaker like him.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure.